Hello. So today we will be discussing with Amogh, and we'll be discussing about BITS Pilani. So he was our student in 2023 batch.
23.
So 2021 you joined and 23 you passed out.
Correct.
And he joined the BITS Pilani. So the idea is basically if you want the information what to do at BITS Pilani, how to get there and what to expect. So for that we are making this video. Okay. If you can
Introduce myself. Hello, I'm Amogh Nene.
Yeah.
And my branch is chemical engineering. I am from BITS Pilani. And
Currently you are third year. Basically.
yeah, I am going into third year.
Uh.
And I studied in NoMoreClass from 2021 to 2023.
Integrated batch it was.
Yeah.
I think you were in the Vyasa, no? You were enrolled.
I was in GRV.
GRV you were enrolled. Okay. Take it. And so let's first talk about during that phase. It will be better. So, because if I remember correctly, like in the beginning, you were not that sincere kid. So basically,
Correct.
though you were bright, IQ we always used to see, and we always used to say basically things can be done, but from your side, little sincerity, we believe it was little less. Tell us like how the journey was, like the 11th basically and the 12th, how the journey went.
Okay. I joined NMC and then I didn't really know much about IITs and JEE till then. It was my father that told me, "Yeah, let's do this." And it wasn't like I was opposed to it. He didn't force me, but that drive and that passion wasn't there. And I used to have a lot of other fun with friends. So I had my fun. But then as time went by, I got serious. And I knew that if I have to be somewhere in life, I really have to put in the effort.
You got nice friends as well, actually.
Yeah, correct.
And I think you became sincere in the 12th standard. And after that, basically, it was no turning back. The graph was exponential after that. The hard work you put, let's talk about hard work as well. So,
Right.
11th, during the 11th standard, basically, generally, how many hours self-study was there during the 11th?
Around 2, maybe 3.
Even that might be contested.
Yeah.
But 11th on 12th onward, basically, we know like you started studying a lot because it started visible on your face, on your health.
Right.
So
It was also very new for me in 11th, as it is with everyone. But
yeah.
as time went by, I really put in the effort.
So 11th, 12th on during the 12th standard, basically, how many number of hours?
For most of my 12th grade, I remember putting in as much, at least as much as 6 hours after classes.
After classes.
Yeah.
And once the syllabus was done, then
After syllabus was done, when there were no classes, I would put in maybe 8, 9, and at the very end, even 12 hours at times.
that's just study, sleep, eat, study, sleep.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I didn't enjoy it. I really got into it, and I liked.
Yeah, that's the thing. The moment you start solving the equation, you start enjoying it.
Correct.
That's the thing. And I think during the preparation time, you were into the sports as well, actually. Basketball?
In 11th grade, we used to play basketball, me and my class, in the lunch break. Yeah.
Lunch break, basically. That 12th May, I think you carried on like some time
till maybe a 1 month into 12th, we played. But then after that, we had to stop as exams started approaching. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So what was the experience with NMC? Was it fun or was it stressful? Or
what signifies my experience with the NMC was the freedom that it gave me. My teachers, they always did look at me and what I was doing, but they didn't really force me into study. They didn't beat me with a stick and make me study.
Yeah, definitely.
Some other place.
That cannot be done. Like if you want to look, if you want to go for some college, and
you really wanted if you can do it only when you really want it by yourselves.
By force, people can send you to private college. That's the max can be done.
Huh.
But if you want to crack the IITs, JEE and all, and so that drive is required. It has to come from the within, and that's a requirement ultimately. I think you cleared almost all the exam which you have written during that time.
Yeah, I wrote JEE mains in the very beginning. And then later on, I wrote exams such as ISER, ISI, and I wrote
advanced as well.
JEE Advanced, BITSAT, Manipal, CET.
So we tell everybody to write. We keep forcing. For that, we force basically.
Yeah. It does give you some confidence also after writing the
exam. Even when you are not getting qualified, you are getting the bad marks basically. You get to know what not to do.
Your weaknesses.
So What about, I know we suggested you to opt for the BITS at that point in time, but what was your drive? What was your reason to select the BITS?
Again, BITS is known for its freedom. And more than freedom, I would say it gives you the opportunities and the chances and the freedom to actually think about different choices that you want to make in life. It Apart from core engineering, there are a lot of other choices for you to explore. Even if you might not end up doing non-core, it helps you and makes you look at the other side of life and other roles such as finance, consulting, and product.
So let's talk more about the BITS, about the academics, because they have little this interesting way of selecting the courses and the timetable, how it works there. Like if I remember, like in the IITs, it's fixed. The timetable in the semester, it becomes fixed. Even the courses are fixed. Some of the courses are fixed. Some electives will be there.
Correct.
But the timetable is fixed, like 9 to 1 and then
9
2
to 1
to
and say
4
2
or
to
2 to
5.
5 or 2 to 6, basically, depending upon. During that time, the classes will be happening. So there we never used to have the choice to select the time, basically. And BITS, I think that selection is available. So how it works?
So the flexibility that BITS gives you is, first of all, you can choose your professors.
Okay.
And secondly, you can choose your courses. There are a few courses that are mandatory for your course. Say for your branch, I have to do a set number of courses per chemical. But apart from that, there are other courses such as department electives in chemical. Then I can do electives from other departments such as computer science. And there are other humanities electives as well. So as I proceed through college, each semester I can do other courses that I wish to do.
And what about timing, basically?
Okay, so timing is unlike other colleges which have strict 9 to 5 or 9 to 4 timing. Ours varies a lot by the electives you take. Again, the electives that you choose, they have a set timing.
Okay.
So say 3 lectures in the week. One might be on Monday, 3 to 4 p.m. The other two might be on Wednesday and Friday on 9 to 10 a.m. So that's how it goes. And it might be like you have classes from 9 to 3 on a Monday and then you're free. And Tuesday, the day after, which is Tuesday, it might be a completely free day, and the next day might be completely filled, such as 9 to, it might be a busy day, like 9
So
to
you
5.
can select basically when you want to
Exactly.
sleep more and when you
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
That option is available there. What about hostel? Is it nice? Generally, like some of the IITs are having very.
I've heard a lot of the old IITs have not so great hostels, but BITS, as far as I know, as far as the rooms I've stayed in, it's pretty good. I've enjoyed living in the rooms. And all of the hostels have a lot of open space and greenery, trees as well. So that is a really nice.
AC is not allowed.
There is no AC.
No AC. That's the one thing I knew today itself.
Yeah.
I used to believe AC is allowed there, but heater is allowed.
Heaters and coolers that you purchase yourself, they are allowed, but there is no centralized air conditioning.
But department it will be, no?
Yeah.
Department classes
All the classrooms have AC.
because I remember in my case, even the cooler was not allowed. I
Okay.
Udupi, basically, I purchased the cooler
Hmm.
and then somebody complained and then I had to pay the fine and they took my cooler as well, actually. So that's there in the IITs and all, like only fan you have, tubelight you have. So
Correct.
other options generally are not allowed. So that's a good thing, basically, when you have this cooler and all, that option is allowed. So it's become livable. What about food?
Food is good. It does get monotonous sometimes, but
Yeah.
that is with any mess food. It repeats after every 2 weeks. But considering quality and hygiene, and in general the taste as well, it's pretty good.
And non-veg is there
Non-veg, you get non-veg around once a week.
once a week. Availability is there.
Once a week, and if you wish to, you can buy it from the live counter.
Yes, live counters are there. So they allowed egg item or non-veg item as well?
Egg, chicken भी मिलता है.
Achha,
Yeah.
but in our case, the only egg items were allowed,
Okay.
actually. So
Right.
chicken वगैरह नहीं था.
So the thing is, according to demand, they do keep introducing new items. Like lately, there's been a lot of demand for boiled chicken. A lot of people do get it and cook in their own rooms.
Oh,
So that has been a recent addition.
okay. So nice food, basically. Though monotonous, it's
Correct.
with every hostel it will be there. Oh, what about they keep changing the north food and the south food, or like only north food?
Yeah, you
But-
do get idli dosa, you get chole bhature, everything.
Well, these are in the high demand, basically. Idli dosa, I remember whenever the idli dosa used to be there, like another used to be long queue. But when they were going for paratha, they used to be long queue. But normal items, generally people used to avoid. Okay. What about extracurricular?
Extracurriculars, as far as I'm concerned, I play sports as a hobby with my friends, and then I'm a part of several clubs. Right now, I'm part of the sponsorship and marketing department. And in the first year, I was part of Team BITS, and I was a part of trekking club, and I was also part of IIT.
Tracking is happening there.
Trekking, it happens, matlab, we do organize activities. We go on treks ourselves as well as take other people from our batches.
Are there places nearby?
There are a few places nearby, but once a year we also do bigger treks, such as the
Okay.
ones in Himalayas.
That was not at the time. It was now. There's a train actually. Tracking become a train.
Yeah.
Good as well. Sports, mein, like as you were telling me, like I think they organize the different types of sports.
Correct. So if you're part of the team in the sports teams, then you get to participate in intra bits, which is the bit sports competition among 3 campuses. Apart from there is Bossum as well, which is the sports fest that happens. It is open to all colleges. You can come to the fest and participate as long as you're any college from nearby.
Application based. I think an invitation might be going
Yeah.
to the BITSAT and that.
Correct. Yeah.
Depending upon who you are inviting and whether they are choosing or not,
Yeah.
generally,
Yeah.
how it will be happening.
And for the sports fest, generally colleges such as IIT Delhi, Roorkee, there are colleges from DU, OP General, all of these tend to come and participate.
And what about cultural things and all?
Cultural fest happens in October every year, and it is one of the biggest fests on campus. Everyone looks forward to it. There are concerts
Everywhere.
yeah. There are lots of concerts. Then there are different artists that come and perform.
3-4 days, I think.
If we get 4 days
4
holidays.
days. 4 days. During that time, all the things will be happening. I think students also might be performing.
Correct.
Students will also different segments in the colleges. Dramatic segment.
There's dramatics, dance.
They will also be performing during those.
Yeah. Competitions as well. There is a rock competition, I think. It's called Rocktives, and a lot of bands from other colleges come and perform.
And you are into that funding group, basically.
I am a part of sponsorship.
You look for the funding for these projects.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good thing, basically. You get to know. It's a sales, ultimately.
Yeah, exactly. I get to talk with company executives. I like it. Yeah.
Convince them to give the money, basically.
Yeah.
Yep. Abhi tak kaisa? Till now, how your life is? Last 2 years, basically. Did you enjoy the?
I've enjoyed my life. The campus life is good.
Job, we don't have to think about ultimately. So jobs automatically everybody generally gets. But nowadays that the concern has come. The many people keep thinking about this now. News keep coming. Jobs are going down. I keep telling them basically when you're in the grade 1 colleges, job is never an issue.
Right.
Job is never an issue. So just give me the idea like how the job scenario is in the BITS.
So one thing I'd like to mention is the last year when jobs were not so great, or at least everyone was saying the market is in not such a great condition. A lot of our alumni, we have a very widespread alumni network. They came in and they basically helped people get jobs. And I feel like that is the strength of BITS. When there is a difficulty, alumni tend to reach out and they will really help you get to places. And not only when things are difficult, even when things are easy, you can reach out to the alumni.
That's with the grade 1 college, that's nothing. Alumni is and Pilani, that's again compared to like when it comes to Hyderabad and Goa, the Pilani is having the biggest network basically. And the people tends to remain connected in the college. I am in connect with my college, so different activities, they keep connecting, they keep asking, and we used to participate and all.
Right.
So job is generally not an issue.
Generally,
what's the package range which goes there?
Generally, the median package is around 25 lakhs per year.
Yeah. That's with the score or no, this one?
For CS, I've heard it has touched 30 per electronics, sometimes lower, but companies like Texas Instruments tend to give very high packages as well. And
median, basically, if we talk about median, so
around 25.
25. With every branch almost.
Yeah. Median for the entire college is 25. For core, if I mention specifically, it's around 15. Yeah.
Core. In case of core, the growth at later stage is quite high. Once you in the core for let's say 5 years, after that, the job completely becomes the managerial job. And in the core, a lot of extra perks also keep coming in the core. When it comes to vehicle, living, and all those perks are there. Though life is little monotonous in case of core, but extra perks are always there. The job, there is no issue. There is no issue basically. That's the benefit actually. When you go to these colleges, you don't have to think about the job. So you can really enjoy. I'll not say enjoy. The thing is, it's like exploring things.
You
So
can
when,
focus on what your passion is.
Yeah. So when you are focusing on the sales and all, you are because of passion you are focusing, not
Right.
because you have to
Not
get the
because I
job.
have to.
People find their passion, they go for it. If they like it, they sustain that in the future, or otherwise, you can always go for the different things.
Correct.
All the different things are there.
Correct.
How many sections like will be there, like in extracurricular activities? Like sports is one. Then I think
Sports, there's dramatics. There are a lot of different clubs
hobbies
that
club,
focus
I
on
think.
hobbies. Yeah, there is a board games club, I think. And then there's a lot of clubs. There is a movie club. There is poetry club.
Movie club, they make the movie or watch the movie?
There are both. There is a filmmaking club, and then there is I think movie club. They screen movies. There is a poetry club as well. There is
People keep making the club basically.
plenty of yeah.
If you like, basically, you find out 4 or 5 people and you make a club.
Right, yeah.
Find the one professor as well. Professor, if you have a professor backing, then you start getting the funds from the college for the club activities. Yeah. Like during the preparation time, basically, as you have seen the ups and downs during the preparation time. So you were at one point of time, you were one of the ideal student, but at the one point of time, different point of time, basically you were not so ideal as well. So based upon that 2 year experience, what's the advice you want to give to the kids? What to do and what not to do?
One thing I'd like to advise is you can always come back from any low you hit. You are never too far behind. When you put in the work and when you work hard, I think I really worked hard. You can really come back, you can score well. And I feel like the most and the number one important thing is to be disciplined, to put in the hard work.
Yeah, because I remember at later stage, basically, whenever we used to talk to your father, one advice we used to keep telling him, sir, please look after the food because you were getting so thin. So we were worried कि ना कि तबीयत खराब ना हो जाए इसकी. So we used to keep telling कि please food देखते रहो and mental state because you were like, you stopped talking much. At that time, your mind completely used to be in the study.
Right.
Completely in the study, in the zone. I used to be. And then, so that's one thing because we knew like you are on the right track and you are putting a lot of hours. And the thing is, health wise, you are worried कि you have to sustain the health till the exam. After that, whatever you do, we don't care. Basically, that was the idea. Yeah, if like during 11, basically, if you were enjoying a little bit, putting less efforts, because of that, the 12th you have to put.
I had to compensate.
Compensate. The compensation was required in the 12th, basically.
If I started maybe a bit earlier, if I put in more hours before, maybe.
The later stage, the efforts requirement would have been a
Right.
little less actually. Back, you can always come back. You can always come back. And then luck factor is always there. Luck is always there. You never know basically when the luck will help and when it will backfire. What's the future goals you are having currently?
Future goals, I feel like 5 years down the line, I really want to be happy with what I'm doing.
That's the thing. But that is a little subjective.
Yeah,
As I keep saying in the class as well, I used to keep saying it. Generally, people have 3 types of things. Like you can go for research, you can go for a job or entrepreneurship. Out of these 3 things generally. So any goal you have made or you're still looking for कि क्या करना है?
I think right now I will be sitting for placements, and I feel like if I really want to pursue entrepreneurship, then maybe once I have a bit of a backup, maybe I have some money for myself later on when I know what I want to do, I can pursue it.
Generally, entrepreneurship, the best time comes after 30 actually. Best time is always because you have plenty of experience and you have little backup as well. I always suggest if you want to become an entrepreneur, don't be one on your parents' money. So entrepreneur is always like when you have utilizing your own money because then you have your own skin in the game.
Correct.
When you have own skin in the game, then only basically you understand the value of it. Basically, you put right amount of efforts. Basically, that's a nice strategy. Basically, that's the best strategy one has to go for. Let's talk about BITS a little bit more. So we all know it's a pretty nice college and all. Placement is good and all. So what's the best thing you find there? What's the best thing basically which makes this grade 1 colleges apart from the private colleges? What that X factor?
I strongly believe that the crowd, my friends, the people I find in BITS, that make the college. And that really is the number one factor about BITS. Yeah.
Now, that's the thing basically. If you're sitting in the, let's say you're sitting in the canteen, that's the best thing actually.
Correct.
You're sitting in the canteen, you might be fighting who will pay the bill. You might be fighting who will pay the bill, who will pay that 5 rupee or 10. आजकल पराठा कितने का आता है? What's
But
that?
30, 40.
30 rupees. At our time, it's used to be 5 rupees basically. So at 30 or 40 rupees, you will be fighting who will pay. You'll be fighting for that. But at that point of time, you will find people discussing about the $1 billion idea. And people will not be laughing. There will be students, they will be discussing how to do it and all. Though at that point of time, they are fighting who will pay the 30 rupees, but they will be discussing about a $30 billion ideas and to make something like that. That's what basically makes these grade 1 colleges different. So in the grade 1 colleges, the students are not mad about the jobs.
Correct.
They know like they'll get it. Generally, they'll get it.
Right.
Only drawback can be the communication. If your communication is pretty bad and all, then it might be little problematic. But if communication is good, you are disciplined, basically you're maintaining things, then job is never an issue. Job is never an
Right.
issue. But the thing is, crowd, the friends you make there, these friends basically will become a driving force for you.
Right. Like it's
Because
always been.
now the driving force basically you can never get satisfied. So basically, let's say down the line, 5-10 years, you are in the job. And at that point of time, if you get to know like one of your friends started their own startup,
Correct.
that will become your motivation. That's generally the motivation. That was the motivation in my case. That's generally the motivation in every other case. Generally, when they see their friends basically whom they used to sit and play, and when they are doing good in the life, then it becomes a motivation for you to do good, to take little bit risk. So I always believe like students basically, because you are one among them. So you are good student, and then you find many such good students.
Right.
So college life is good. Professors are good. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll not say they're very good. Some good professors will be there. Some bad professors will also be there. Facilities wise as well, I think some good things will be there. Some bad things will be there. But the students mind blowing. The friends mind blowing. Any advice, future advice, last advice you want to give to the students basically?
I think one of the things I realized later on in my journey is not to think of the outcome. It's very easy to say, everyone says it, but when you go, enjoy the process. But yeah, exactly. Because when you go to the end and you start thinking ki ye hoga ya nahi, will I get the result I work for? That really starts playing with your mind. And if you keep thinking about if you will get it, then I don't think you'll be able to achieve your goals.
Goals nahi hote. Life is 80 years and it's a journey.
Right.
Ultimately, the goals are like the stations. Do you want to stay at the stations? You don't want to stay at the station. You just want to enjoy it a little bit, and then again you have to sit on the train, and then again the train will go for the next station. So that's how. The thing is, when you are going for a path, some of the stations has to come so that you can enjoy the view as well. Stay there. So life may, they cannot be the destination. They are like you just stay there a bit, enjoy a bit, have a satisfaction, have your samosas or idli dosa basically, and then again sit and wait for the next station. Generally, this is how the life works. For the kids, generally it comes little late. If you talk to your father, parents, grandparents, they'll always say the same thing.
Correct.
Realizing it is sometimes a little difficult. But even it is a process, we have to make a little bigger goal.
Exactly.
And the goal which is achieved is not a goal. Go ahead. So satisfaction should not be coming little early. थोड़ा सा late आना होता है basically. And so this you got the idea basically what to expect in the bits and all. Any other question if you have basically, you just let us know. Amogh will always be in contact. So at least coming 2 years, so you'll be able to give the ideas to your juniors as well. Okay.